Let's talk about dangerous dogs, and let's talk about dog bites, and if I may, Canadian media, let's talk about dog bites for more than just pit bulls, because dog bites come from every breed, and dog bites also come from owners or guardians, hopefully guardians, who don't take the time to train their animals. And the animal is the one that suffers, invariably. And if and you only get to see a small fraction of the animals that actually are suffering, because the media will only cover the big, hard, bad bites, but they happen all of the time. So what's going on in the city of Toronto with dangerous dogs, and what measures do we have to address it?
As the bylaw stands right now, it speaks to dogs specifically only that have bitten. Now, the Dog Owners Liability Act does speak to dogs that have bitten, attacked, or pose a menace to public safety. So we're looking to that legislation, as well as the feedback that we received through the consultations and the survey, to make those changes to the bylaw, to include dogs that have attacked, to include dogs that pose a menace and risk to public safety.
In a case like that, where you have a dog that is acting out, showing aggressive tendencies, there's the measures that you can put in place, but is there any way to turn the behavior around?
Definitely education and educating dog owners, not only in that venue, potentially children, dog behavior, dog language 101.
When you start to educate people about those signs and they can look for them, then they stop missing them. These things are not necessarily complicated, but they do tend to be things that people, like you said, don't think about when they own a dog. They think it's all about having a dog that will lie by the fire and play with your kids, and everything's going to be great.
Perfect.
Yes. When dogs get around a lot of other dogs, they do things that their guardian doesn't necessarily expect or maybe has never seen before. It can be extremely subtle, and they think it comes out of nowhere. Actually, it doesn't. There's been signs, those signs have been missed. We want people to be able to recognize all of that, because when dogs get into fights with each other, they injure each other, but often people get injured in those incidents as well, as they're trying to manage the situation. They get bitten.
I can't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of probably times we've seen over the years, or heard over the years, when we're conducting these bite investigations and all of that we've heard, my dog has never done that before.
Yeah.
And that may be the case. And it may have taken, 2 years or a year of other sort of these types of things that you're speaking of, and then there's that trigger 5 years later, and it's all building up, and something happens. I've had the luxury, and I've learned these things to come and know what I know today. And I think we just need to, we're looking at, how can we impart experts, and everything that we know to the general public to try to, prevent dog bites, prevent interactions, and as a community, people to get along better, because you often find, especially in dog park situations, you have two dog owners and blaming one another for what transpired.
It takes all of us time, and that's one of the reasons why Rescue Diaries is here. We want to capture best practices, get them out to more people, because people do need to learn.